Even though there is a constant need for new blood donors, not everyone who wants to give is allowed. Many people are turned away because, for example, they've not been well or have recently had vaccinations.
But if you're a gay man, there is a complete and permanent ban on you giving blood. For the latest report in our special series this week, Chris Buckler looks at why it's not okay to be a gay blood donor.
The blood transfusion service runs a vital, life-saving operation. It's constantly making appeals for new platelet and blood donors, but not everyone is welcome. When you come here to give blood, you're asked to fill out a long list of questions. This is the actual form. And just to emphasise how important some of them are, you're also given this, a blood safety leaflet. Now in it, it makes very clear that if you're HIV positive or if you're a carrier of hepatitis B or hepatitis C, you shouldn't give blood. That's obvious. But there are also categories of people who aren't allowed to give blood. Any man who has ever had sex with another man is banned from donating, forever. That's along with anyone who's injected drugs or worked as a prostitute. The blood transfusion service says that's because of the risk of infection. However, there are other groups regarded as high risk who are only prevented from giving blood for a year. They include anyone who's had sex with a prostitute. That limited ban also applies to women who within the last 12 months have slept with a man who's had gay sex. Gay rights groups are claiming discrimination.
I think actually the guidelines are actually quite lax in some ways, because what they're doing is they're based upon stereotyping. And I understand when they came out in the 1980s, when the AIDS epidemic occurred, people were scared, and these guidelines were formulated during that time. But now the guidelines to me should actually be simplified in saying that anyone who's engaged in risky behaviour shouldn't be given blood for 12 months, regardless of sexual orientation.
All blood is screened for serious infections such as HIV, but the transfusion service here says it's bound by UK-wide guidelines.
It's not a moral issue. It's an issue entirely about blood safety, the safety of the blood supply. Errors are possible. The tests are not absolutely foolproof, and so we do still feel, in the interests of the safety of the blood supply, that we have to apply these rules.
Elsewhere in the world, some countries, including Spain and Italy, have recently relaxed their rules to allow gay men to give blood. The issue here is said to be constantly under review, but currently there's no sign of any change to the policy. Chris Buckler, BBC Newsline.